Hey guys, this is your girl Lira, and you're listening to Self Reflection Podcast. Thank you guys for joining me on another episode of Self Reflection Podcast. I am happy to be here today. I'm excited to have this conversation. I think it's one of those conversations that is going to open a lot of curiosity in me. So I'm excited to be here. But before we get into our conversation, I want to ask you if you've yet to subscribe to Self Reflection Podcast, please go ahead and hit the subscription button. I'll greatly appreciate it as we look to grow our community here on Self Reflection Podcast. Lately I feel like the support that we have been getting on social media and also the people that have been listening to Self Reflection Podcast and subscribing, not only on like Apple Podcasts, but also YouTube, right? It has been a tremendous growth that we have seen. So I appreciate everyone that has, subscribed to this podcast, that has tuned in week after week to listen to our conversation. And for us to keep that going, I need you that is listening to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys again so much for joining us on Self Reflection Podcast. Today we are going to be talking to Yesenia. Did I say
Yesenia?
Yeah. Okay, Yesenia. We're going to be talking to Yesenia. She and I met at Horror Society. Shout out to Liz again. You're the second person that I'm interviewing from Horror Society.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had Alicia here last week and we did a podcast interview together. So, Liz, 2 for 2.
Yeah, no, that's so awesome. And honestly, I was so happy to be able to go to that event because it was such a great turnout. There was amazing people, amazing women, and being able to connect and learn a little bit about everyone was amazing. And being able to meet you was a big win. So it was lovely meeting you. I loved your personality and the connection that we had. So
yes,
thank you, Liz.
I know it was when I met you, I was like, oh my God, you have such a vibrant personality as well. And I was like, we should definitely connect like instantly. So thank you again for accepting to come on Self Reflection Podcast and also for sharing this part of your journey with us on here. Before we get into our conversation, can you please let our family and friends on Self Reflection Podcast know who you are? It could be from a personal standpoint and also a professional standpoint as well.
Okay, yes. Hello. I am so happy to be here. Thank you again, Lira, for having me here. It is a blessing. My name is Yesenia Nissan, and I am a permanent makeup and paramedical tattoo artist in Menlo Park here in California. Not only that, I'm also a mom and a wife. I have 4 children. But going back to a little bit about the work that I do is I help people feel confident and empowered in their skin. And I do that with the art of creating 3D areolas, camouflaging scars, creating 3D brows. Brow realism is what I call, and lip blush for anyone that just wants to enhance their natural features or anyone that can benefit from these services.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've never heard of like I was telling you outside of off camera, I never really heard of like someone tattooing their body parts to make it look more real and how that can impact the way they feel. So, I'm excited to learn more about that. But a little bit about like personal background, like where did you come from? Like in the sense of, did you grow up in the Bay Area?
Yeah. So, born and raised in the Bay Area. Hey. I love the Bay Area. I was born and raised, and I couldn't imagine myself living anywhere else. My family was raised in East Palo Alto, California. And so, so I was raised around East Palo Alto, Menlo Park, Stanford area. And so that's where I grew up.
And we're going to get into your business right now. So when it comes down to like the work that you do, looking back, when was the first time you ever like did a tattoo on a lady and like you felt the emotion that they felt, and how did that make you feel personally?
Okay. Yes. So going back, I started doing this work and I started off with eyebrows only. And so I started in 2019 and I was doing this as a side hustle, as a side gig. I still had my full-time job at Stanford. I used to work in the Department of School of Medicine for the Department of Heart Surgery. And I loved being there. But I also found something that I really found interest in and I found a passion. And the more I leaned into it, I just felt more of a calling. And I was doing that on the side. And 6 months into doing this work, I had a woman, and I will never forget, but she reached out to me in the hopes of wanting to help her. And so I'm used to just, at that time, just working on eyebrows, helping beautiful women enhance their features. But this woman particularly, she came to me because she was a cancer survivor. And she had gone under chemotherapy and she was very thankful to be where she is at now. But after chemotherapy, her eyebrows never grew back. And as a mom, she was a mom and a wife. She kind of put herself last, and from her experience, she just wanted to focus on moving forward and moving on, focusing on her family. And so finally, she decided, you know what, like, I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm tired of constantly reminding myself of why my eyebrows aren't there. Every time I draw my eyebrows, it was almost like a burden to her and a reminder of her experience and her journey. And so she wanted to show up for herself. She wanted to do something for herself that would help her feel more confident. And that's when she came to me. And so I had felt very honored for her to have reached out to me. I also was nervous because it was my first time to do work on something like this. This was a very touching story.
Yeah.
But that was when I realized that there's a lot more to this work. And that's when I really found that, like, I had this passion, but that's when I realized it was really a calling. Because when she looked at herself after, it was such an empowering moment, because seeing her tears come down on her face, it wasn't tears of what her experience or her journey was. It was tears of joy of her looking at herself and being able to reconnect with herself and see herself again for who she is, what she went through, her journey, and who she is now. And that was really touching to me. That was really empowering to me to see her gain that confidence and say, like, I remember who I am, like, this is me. And that's when I'm like, okay, there's something here. Like, the spirit is moving here. There's something going on here, and I want to continue to do this work. And so I kept doing this work, and that's the first person that I will never forget that really, really had a great impact in the work that I did. Yeah.
What made you want to get in this work in the first place?
Oh my God. So I have the medical background.
Yes.
And I went from medical background to more on the administrative leadership side. And I really enjoyed that. But I was still missing some type of connection. I loved the work that I was doing. I believe in the mission that we have. Stanford is such a great place to work at. But I still felt like I was missing a connection. And at that time, I was a single mom. And I also needed a side hustle. I mean, being a single mom living in the Bay Area, even though you have a good job, you still have to work a little extra to try to get ahead. And so my cousin, actually, she got her eyebrows done. And she called me and was like, girlfriend, like, oh my God, you cannot believe this. I got my eyebrows tattooed and it looks like hair. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You got your eyebrows tattooed? Like, girl, you're crazy.
Yeah.
And she goes, no, she couldn't explain. She's like, no, it looks real. It's like real hair, but it's a tattoo. And I'm like, what? What is this?
Yeah.
So she comes over later that day and she's like, look at my eyebrows. And I'm like, oh my God, they look real good. They look really good. And so I'm checking out her eyebrows. They look like real hair.
Yeah.
I was just so in awe. And the whole time she kept saying, oh my God, I can just picture you doing this work. And so I was like, I don't know, beauty. I'm not in the beauty industry.
Yeah.
I'm in the more medical background field, like makeup, all that. I don't have that background. But there was something in me, a curiosity that I was interested in learning. And so I leaned in and I started researching. And I just thought it was really unique and interesting to do this work. And then be able to have the realistic results that you have after. It looks so real and so natural. And I thought, you know what, I want to try this and give this a try. And so I decided to invest in a class and try it out. And I ended up liking it.
Yeah.
It was challenging, but I really liked it. And the more curious I was, the more I leaned into it and the more I kept doing it. So yeah, that's how it started.
Yeah.
And then in 2020, this was in 2019. And then in 2023, I left Stanford full time to pursue my journey and follow this mission that I have. Yeah.
Wow. For somebody else that is listening to this conversation right now that might be on that same path of like, because you mentioned that it's more of a soul purpose now, that is looking to find that type of connection for themselves, find their purpose, find what their calling is. Obviously, you can't tell what their emotions are going to be, but what type of emotions did you feel that led you know that like, okay, this is what I need to be doing, and how can you like support them to, continue to search for that purpose for themselves and like pursue that goal for themselves as well.
Yeah. So for me, I can say is being able to help others. The best I can do is listen. I feel like listening is really empowering, and it can also be medicine in a way. And so that's how I'm able to do that for them, is give them the space, listen, and remind them that they're not erasing what happened to them. This is an opportunity to, rewrite their story and be able to step into their fully selves, into their full potential, and embrace their journey, and not look at their scars as something that's holding them behind. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can ask. I don't think I've answered fully the question.
It's okay. But when you help women build their confidence through the work that you do, what has this work revealed to you about your own sense of worth, beauty, and purpose as a woman?
Yes. Oh my God. I've learned so much. So one of the things that I've learned is beauty is not perfection. And a lot of the times many of us, we strive for perfection, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We strive to be perfect, to look the best we can, to speak the best that we can. We are trained to prepare, right? It showed me too that I should also nurture myself as I'm there helping women use beauty to connect with themselves again. It reminds me that I also need to nurture myself so that I can also be able to give that back.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, it has showed me that. Yeah.
As you're talking, I remember this book by Maxwell. He was a plastic surgeon, and he talked about how most of the women, or like the people that he worked on, right? When they get the plastic surgery, a lot of the times, some will feel like the instant like beauty or like happy with whatever result they got, but some of them didn't feel that even when the plastic surgery was like perfect. And he did a research and he got to find out that a lot of the time is because of their belief system. Do you see that in your work?
I want to say a little bit, but at the same time, I also want to disagree a little bit. I want to say, I agree with it because sometimes we're not connected with ourselves, right? So it doesn't matter what we're doing.
Yeah.
We can do so many things to ourselves and we're still not happy or accepting ourselves. But I really thank God because in the work that I've done so far, when the women have come to me for this transformation work, when they look at themselves again, I feel like they're able to reconnect with themselves again. And so when they get these services done, it's a reminder that showing up for themselves. They're doing something for themselves.
Yeah.
So, and when you do that, I find that there's healing there.
Mm-hmm.
When you show up for yourself and you do something for yourself, you're connecting with yourself. You're loving yourself, and in that, there's some transformation of healing. So,
I
so I mean, yes. So no, I don't. I don't think that. Yeah, I don't know how. Yeah, I agree and then disagree.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. What's the most like challenging work you have done so far,
Mm,
and
for
why was it challenging?
yes. I'm thinking there's a lot of challenging
Oh yeah.
cases, but areolas are always very sentimental because a lot of the breast cancers have gone through their journey and being able to reconnect with their bodies and themselves and for them to be vulnerable and share their story with me and to trust me means a lot. But one of the cases that are also very challenging is you also have those that have gone through traumatic car accidents, birth victims, and so sometimes their skin is really damaged, and so there's only so much you can do to enhance the appearance of it.
Yeah.
So I did have this one woman who she had a car accident, really big scar in this area, and so she's undergone multiple sessions of laser to help that, and so the last part was her last resource was coming to me to help and fill in those areas. And so that was a little challenging for me because as much as I wanted to make it perfect, I couldn't. But we were able to make it better so that she can feel a little bit better about it than versus how she felt before. So even though we weren't able to completely erase it, completely cover it, the little enhancement that we were able to do gave her confidence to be like, okay,
Yeah.
I feel good with this. Like I can wear I can wear a tank top.
Yeah.
So that was very meaningful.
Yeah. You talked about trust. How do you build trust with, the women that come to your place?
Yeah. You just have to connect with them. That's really important. Listen and be patient. I want to say, and that's how you build trust. One of the things that I've learned and I've challenged myself with, and I challenged myself so much that I ended up going back to school to major in communication. But I really wanted to really listen
Yeah.
because I really think that I'm giving you a service and I'm helping you, but I need to know what your goals are and what results you want. I really need to listen to you so that I know how I can deliver. So for me, it's really important to listen. And I think when I give them that space, they they feel that trust.
Yeah.
Because I'm willing to listen and I'm willing to help them in achieving the goals that they want.
How do you deal with I know this is a lot of heavy
No, it's
questions,
okay.
but like, how do you deal with the emotions that, like, when, like, the last lady you talk about with the burn,
Yeah.
right? When you feel like you did almost like everything you could have done, but then there's still like that little piece of like,
Yeah.
how do you deal with that emotion that comes with that?
It can be hard
Yeah.
and the weight can feel heavy. But I remind myself that I'm here to be a guide and to help. I'm not here to I can't fix everything, but I am here to help them how I can. And so instead of taking this weight in and these emotions, I change the energy and how I look at it and am grateful to be able to at least be able to assist them in a way to help them. And so as much as I do, and I think what fills my heart is that I know I do my best and give it my all.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, I asked that because, like, I know it's an emotional space, and like, for me as like a case manager, at least like one of the first time that I ever felt, I felt like I failed this client, and it took like a really big emotional toll on me because I felt like I let them down. I didn't do what I was supposed to do for them, even though I did everything that I possibly could, but just couldn't find the right resource for them. It was heavy on me, and I remember just like thinking for like months maybe about the same person over and over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the type of like when I hear you speak about it, I feel like that's the kind of energy. Like it's not, I feel like you're more than just like a tattoo artist or however the word is for this space, right? I feel like you're like not a therapist, but like you carry that emotional like
It
weight.
almost feels that way.
Yeah.
But it is heavy. I mean, I'll be honest, and I mean, my sister helps me a lot. There's times where she sees me wiping my tears because some of these stories are very touching,
Yeah.
and some of them are very sad. Some of them are very empowering. But even though they're sad, to be honest, sometimes I really find a lot of empowerment there because these women are still showing up for themselves despite their circumstances, despite what they're going through. Like they're still showing up. And so I really find a lot of empowerment there. So that pushes me and that empowers me to continue to also do the work that I'm doing because if they're pushing through what they're going through, then it gives me more reason to be able to want to do more for them.
We're going to break away real quick. Guys, I want to ask you if you have yet to subscribe to Self Reflection Podcast, please go ahead and hit the subscription button as we look to grow our community here on Self Reflection Podcast. It would mean a lot to me. We want conversations like this to find, other people that might be going through similar challenges in their life or somebody that just might need to know that they're not alone, right? I think the mission for Self Reflection Podcast is to build a community that feels empowered and know that they're being seen and being heard on their journey here on earth. So if you can subscribe to Self Reflection Podcast, share with your friends, ladies, share with your girlfriends, your group chat, pull out some popcorn, laugh, giggle, cry together. That would mean a lot to us here on Self Reflection Podcast. We're going to get back to our conversation right now. So, Yasmin, we're going to break away from talking about your work a little bit, and we're going to talk about motherhood. Um, you know, being in your past life, right? Being a single mom in the Bay Area, what is it like to be a single mother? And what did you do that kind of like gave you that strength to keep pushing forward?
Yeah. Well, one, the Bay Area is very expensive, so it can be
Yes.
very challenging too.
Yes, I agree.
To try and make a good living, but it didn't stop me. I, sorry, say it again.
So the question is, you know, being a single mom in your past life, right? What gave you the strength to keep going, and what was that journey like for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what gave me the strength to keep going was being a young mom. I was a mom. I got pregnant at 16 and then became a mother at 17. I had no idea what my future was going to hold. But one thing I knew for sure was that I was going to do whatever it took to take care of my baby girl. And so, if anything, that is what gave me the strength to keep me going and to push for a better future. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess for other mothers that are out there, that are single mothers, how can you, or what supportive, encouraging words do you have for them?
That this is very touching because it was really hard for me being a young mom. Like I said, I didn't know what my future was going to hold. I thought I failed. I went through so many mental things. I felt broken in so many areas, and so I had to work to rebuild myself, to rebuild my emotions, my mental health, and to feel confident in myself and to be able to do the things that made me feel confident. And so for every mom out there, like, you're not alone. You are so important. Like, so important. You are so worthy, more than what you know. And you're not limited, like at all. Like you could literally chase your dreams and chase your children. Like you can do both and be successful. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank
Sorry. I'm
you.
like, ah.
And if I do ask a question you don't want to answer, you
Yeah,
can
no,
just tell me to pass.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. That was really beautiful. I'm not a mom yet, but I do have girlfriends and sisters that are mothers, some single mothers. So, I do see some of like the struggles that they go through. And even when we look into society, right, there's a handful of single mothers, and there's to live into this world that doesn't really support that. I think there's a lot of single mothers that are like strong, and women sometimes. I'm for men, don't get me wrong, I love men, but I think sometimes us women don't see how strong we are in the inside, and when it comes down to like taking care of somebody else as well, right, we often give so much to them as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you.
No, of course.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it is being a single mom. Like I remember being one, young, two, Hispanic, three, from East Palo Alto. There was this stigma that there is really no bright future for me. And
Well, you showed them.
but and it's sad because, like you said, there's not so much support. It's like, oh, you're a single mom. Like, I
Yeah.
feel bad for you. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it must be tough for you. And yes, it is. It is. So instead of feeling bad, what are you doing to help me or to support me or to be kind or to be compassionate? But it's sad, and that's what it is. And but women are powerful,
Yes.
especially mom. And not to say that if you're not a mom, you're not powerful. Women are powerful, but when you become a mom, that power becomes different because it's like you gain this force that really pushes that power. And so, no, I love single moms. I remember feeling like there was no hope for me. I remember feeling like I couldn't trust anyone.
Yeah.
Feeling like, trusting to date someone, a man, you bringing them around your children. Like I said, there were so many areas where I felt broken.
Yeah.
But learning to connect with myself and to trust myself and to go on my own healing journey and allow things to fall in place, to align.
Yeah. And when you started your healing journey, what did you do for yourself to take you down that path?
Yeah. I feel like I've been in my healing journey my whole life, but
Girl, I know.
right. But pray, to be honest, praying, meditating, and being out in nature. I'm a very spiritual person. I believe I'm a big believer in God. But when I pray, I'm just reminded of that I'm not alone, and to just Corinthians 5:10, you walk by faith and not by sight. And so, yeah.
Thank you. We're going to get back into our conversation here. Talking about health and wellness. Many women carry silent scars within them, right? Emotional, physical, and even both sometimes. What do you believe happens inside a woman when she finally decides to reclaim her body and image for herself?
Okay, so what happens in that moment is I feel like restoration is happening in that moment because, and also I feel like there's a relaxation of the nervous system when they look at themselves again. And when that happens, there's healing going on because before they were afraid to look at themselves, or when they saw themselves, they're reminded or see scars. But when they do this and they're able to look at themselves again, like they're no longer reminded of the trauma. They're not thinking about the scars they had. All they're feeling is just this joy and happiness in that moment. And so there's confidence being rebuilt there. There's connection, like reconnecting. She's like connecting with herself again, looking at herself again, like embracing herself in that moment. I've had some women that haven't looked at themselves in years, and then to be able to like look at themselves in the mirror for the first time and say like, here I am. That is so beautiful to me.
Like I've heard like people say they don't look at themselves in the mirror, and when you hear that, it sounds a little bit like, are you like seriously you don't look at yourself? But it really happens.
It really happens. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I've had a few and a few women that have never looked at themselves in the mirror and will not allow their partners to look at them either because they're so ashamed. They feel so broken. They feel so unnormal. And I think, they just feel so ashamed to, like, if something was wrong with them.
Yeah.
They're embarrassed. So that's what happens. So being able to look at yourself again is really empowering. I came across this one woman, and I found this conversation very interesting because she was hearing me talk,
Yeah.
and it turns out after she comes up to me and she said, I liked everything you said, but she said I found it very interesting because I am a breast cancer survivor, and I have scars. She goes, but when I look at myself in the mirror, I see strength and I see a strong woman. Like, I am proud of myself. And that gave me so much joy, and it made me proud for her.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, not everyone can feel that way.
Yeah.
Right? Not everyone can just look at themselves and be like, this happened to me and I'm just going to embrace it. And it's powerful when people can do that, but not everyone can. And so we need to make space for those people so that they can also feel that way. And it's okay if they have to get certain services to be able to feel comfortable in their skin. And I think that's one of the things is like, people are like, oh, you don't need to get this done or accept yourself. Yes, you should definitely love yourself, accept yourself. But if you feel that you want to get something done to make you feel more empowered or make you feel more confident and more comfortable, then why not? So, yeah.
Yeah. When you talk about the fact that they get, like, for example, a woman that get their breasts redone, like with, tattooing, and you talked about how it like changed something in them. I kind of relate that to like when a person goes through trauma, right? And they remove themselves from that place, that environment, it naturally like heals them. So that's what I kind of related to. Like, even though they're not removing themselves from themselves, but they're covering up, which makes them look like they're living in a new body, right? So it's really empowering work. Like, seriously.
It is empowering and I love it. I mean, I myself, like
Yeah.
my own journey, you know, I worked on gaining my confidence back because I felt like my body was destroyed at such a young age. I thought no other man's gonna love me, want me, or how am I like what is for me in the future?
Yeah.
But I worked little by little, first by loving myself, right? Doing little things to make me feel good about myself. And then, I became a mom. And then when you become a mom, your priorities are your children
Yeah.
and providing. And so you have less time for yourself. And so when I started doing this work, I had my eyebrows done and I had my lips blushed. So I experienced what it felt like to be able to feel good. I don't always have the time to like do my makeup and I'm always on the go. But after like getting these services, me, myself, experiencing it and being able to wake up and be on the go and feel beautiful and at least somewhat put together, like that's empowering. That keeps me going every morning because I know I can get up and go and I feel good about myself.
Thank you. How do you help clients hold space for their grief? Why still celebrating their transformation?
Yeah. So I like as I was mentioning earlier, I'm there to listen to them. So I build that trust and I remind them that this is an opportunity of rebirth, of empowerment. And I mean, I do the most that I can to make them feel comfortable and empowered and build that relationship.
Yeah. One of the conversation that we kind of had at Heart Society was God. I remember us just getting into that whole like spiritual conversation. So for our first conversation or self-reflection moment here is, who is God to you?
Um, I mean, God is God. God is my higher up. God is who I believe in. Um, that's who God is to me.
And what does it mean to have God in your life?
Um, what it means to have God in my life means hope, faith, and purpose. It means to want to do good, to be good and do the best. Um, it was said that God did everything all in love.
Yeah.
And so I try and live my life and remind myself to try and do everything in love. So whatever it is that I do is being a wife, being a mom, and in the work that I do.
Yeah. I love that. That's beautiful. And our next self-reflection question is, what about yourself do you cherish and love the most?
Um, Now I feel like I can say something because I worked so much to be able to say something like that. But
Yeah.
one of the things that I want to say I cherish the most about myself right now is the boundaries that I set for myself. For example, every day I always make it a moment. I always find the time, and it's every day when I make up. I'll just share it with you. Every day when I make up my coffee, that is my moment, my time, and that is when I connect with myself and when I connect with God. When I start my day with intention, with positivity, and yeah, I just love that moment. So
Yeah.
I'll share with you what I do. So every morning when I start off my day, I know there's so many things to do, right? So I always say I'm very thankful. I thank God to be alive, just literally to just feel myself. And then I go off. The kids are waking up, they're running around, but I start my coffee. And when I start my coffee, I already know that I'm starting my day off with intention. And so I made that a boundary because otherwise, it's so hard when life is so busy, trying to squeeze things in can be challenging and it can easily slip off.
Yes.
So I wanted to make this like something that I did for myself. So as soon as I turn on the coffee machine, I get my mug, I'm already setting my intention. I am connecting with God. What do I want that day? What is my intention? Love, healing. What what I'm already thinking about the client that I have scheduled, ahead of time and what my intention is. I want to be able to be there and provide them the space that they need and the service that they need to help them feel empowered. And so as I'm sprinkling my cinnamon and adding my honey, I'm like adding in all these intentions and positivity. And then when I drink my coffee, it's like feel like I'm drinking all those everything that I poured out to God, like a blessing almost. And I start my day, and I am really proud of that because it's really hard to do something for yourself, something as simple as taking a moment, like really cherishing your coffee or just sitting out in the sun and really taking that moment in, right? So I am proud for that. And if anything, for all the single moms out there, for all the women out there, I'm really proud for continuing to push despite every circumstance, despite every challenge, despite every doubt. I'm proud to continue to have pushed and to be able to be where I am now.
Yeah.
And this shows that you can do it too, no matter where you're at in your life, in your chapter, in your season in life. Like you can continue to pursue and push and do do things for yourself, like love, self-intention, even if that means sprinkling cinnamon in your coffee or honey. So I am proud of that. And I hope that every woman can take a moment to do something like that for themselves so that they can feel proud of themselves too. for wherever they're at in their lives in that moment, despite their journey. Yeah.
Yes, give it to us. Give it a lot of positive vibe right now. Thank you. Okay. Our next self-reflection question is, how do you stay grounded?
Yeah. So one, that coffee. I need that coffee. But I meditate, even if it's for like at least 1 minute, 5 minutes, but every day I make it an intention to meditate. And in that meditation, literally being thankful to God, thanking Him for everything that He's provided to me, thanking even the challenges, because all of those challenges were they were an experience for me and a journey. And so I really don't look at mistake as a mistake. Like, what word is? Who made that word? It's like
They don't exist.
No, it's an experience.
Yeah.
Like, it's an experience. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. When you look back in your journey and you look back through like the challenges that you've been through, what would you say they have taught you as a woman?
Yeah. Well, one, as a woman, I feel like, and I'm not, from my experience, I feel that I've always had to fight for myself. And so I think being gentle with myself, loving myself, doing things for myself. And a lot of like, and I used to think that was selfish, to be honest.
Me too.
But a lot of that self-love was healing, and a lot of that love poured out is what pours out into other people, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just talked about like being selfish. I remember when I first created Self Reflection Podcast and I started talking about self love and pouring love back into yourself and loving yourself. I had a lot of people, especially on social media, like tell me how selfish I was and how selfish it is to be able to tell people to love themselves and like practice self love, and when you say that, that's what came back to mind to me, because I don't look at self love as selfish. I actually look at it from a selfless perspective, because to me it's like, if I am able to love myself, that's all I can give you. Like, if I'm able to pour into myself, like you said, that's all I can give you, right? So, I guess anyone that's listening, right? I think self love is like literally the key to healing, like, humanity.
It is. That's so beautiful we were saying.
Yeah.
I love that. No, everything you said is really beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I love that.
Yeah. You seem like you
No,
want to
no,
add more.
I
Go
thought you were
ahead.
going to say something. I thought you were going to say something else, so I was going to add.
Yes,
to
please
it.
add.
But
yeah.
what was the last sentence you said? You said something, and I was like,
I said, I think self-love is the key to healing humanity.
no, definitely. It is. I really agree to it, because self-love, like, doing that was really challenging. And like I said, being a single mom, struggling, just to do things for myself. And not only that, you have so much going on in your mind that you're like, self-love, what is that? I don't have time for that. Right. But sometimes self-love can be something as simple as like taking a moment to yourself, or just like being proud of yourself, like being kind to yourself, like something so simple. Like, yes, you want to, go out and give yourself a facial, go out and go shopping, buy yourself a dress.
Yeah.
Yes, you can do that too. But self-love doesn't always mean that you need to do things like that. It can literally be an act of just sitting in a moment with yourself. And that honestly is so important. And you said that there's a lot of healing there, and there is, because when you do self-love, you're doing something for yourself. You're connecting with yourself. You're embracing that part. And when you're doing that, there's like this energy that it heals other people around you too, and you don't even notice that. You start glowing, that other people are like, hey, I want some of that, right? So it trickles. Like this healing goes beyond.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not easy work. I'm just going to say that. Like, going to love yourself, it's like you going to battle with yourself because you have to go through your dark night of soul, right? You have to face all your traumas. You have to
Yes.
face, whatever hurdle else is on the way to like you getting to yourself, right? Or returning back home, however you want to say it. But it's not easy. And like, I think a lot of people sometimes expect that like love for themselves to just like automatically happen, but like in the sake of this conversation, like it's not easy. It's work, I would
No,
say.
it's work.
Yeah.
I remember like one day being on my knees on the ground crying because and literally
I'm laughing
crying,
because like
like
facts.
crying for
Been
like
there.
2 hours, and I like looked
Yeah.
up and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back and still cry. but but because it's like, how am I supposed to love myself when I'm broken? How am I supposed to love on myself when I've made mistakes?
Yeah.
Like for so long, I was so hard on myself because I thought that because I got pregnant so young that my consequence was going to be to have a hard life. So you embed these thoughts, and so it was hard for me to do self-care and self-love. How am I supposed to do that when you see all the negative and all the
Yeah.
scars and the trauma, but when you don't do self-care and self-love, all you're going to see is the scars and the trauma and all that. And when you start doing self-care, you start being gentle with yourself, you start connecting with yourself, you start actually being proud of yourself and for what you've went through and what you went through and where you're at now. So yeah, self-love will literally get you through so much.
Yeah, I agree. When it comes down to like confidence, right? How do you show, like, how does confidence show up in you? And I also have a follow up question because you like, and I say this out of like the most like admiration and stuff and so forth. But like you give a very feminine energy
Aw,
and in a very powerful way, right?
thank you.
So how does confidence like show up in you, and does that play a part in it? Living in your feminine
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah. So again, this was a challenge,
Yeah.
right? To be able to feel this way, and it still is a challenge,
Yeah.
I will say. But even when you invited me to do the podcast, I was like, oh my God, I was so excited, and I felt very honored. But then I started thinking about you start thinking about the perfection part, like you want to say the right things, right? And and so I've been working on this. I've been challenging myself for the last year. Is I've been gaining my confidence through authenticity, literally, because when you start thinking about, it's great to have a vision of how you want to look and how you want to show up,
Yeah.
but sometimes we get caught up in that vision,
Yeah.
and so then we forget the reality and the humanity and what it really is, right? That we're
Yes.
just stuck like, oh my God, I stuttered. Like, for example, so when you asked me, I was like, I wanted to make sure I said the right things. And so I started getting caught up in making sure I said the right things. But then I had to remind myself and I said, okay, wait, God, I always ask you, that, you know, I always ask you, help me shine so that the glory may be reflected upon you.
Amen.
And so lead me. And so I said, okay, wait, let me go back. The only way to show up my fully like confident way is literally just being me, is literally being me, showing up as your
Yeah.
authentic self. Yes, doing little things, for self-love, meditating, doing things for yourself, but showing up as who you are, you know. And yeah, I think that's what literally gives me the confidence, is showing up as who I am, how I am, the
Yeah.
messy I am, whoever it is that I am. But this is who I am.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's really empowering. You can feel your energy from like a mile away if you're a mile away. But
Thank
yeah,
you. Well, you have
it's
this really good energy because you give
thank you.
me the calmness in me. So you give this calmness, and I love that. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. We're gonna dive back into our conversation here. 1 second, as soon as I get my papers. Oh, okay. Our next question is, has there ever been a moment in your journey where you felt broken, which we kind of talked about a
Mm-hmm.
little bit, unsure, unseen, and how did that experience shape you as a person?
Yeah. So many moments, so many times in my life, I felt unseen
Mm-hmm.
and then broken. Um, Especially being, as I mentioned, being pregnant so young, and then having, a challenging journey.
Yeah.
But I've felt broken so many times in my life, especially being young, being pregnant so young. But I think continuing to push,
Mm.
show up for yourself, and not giving up, and believing in yourself, not believing in what others say about you.
Yeah.
For example, in my case, so many people thought that, I was just going to end up getting pregnant again and probably end up working at McDonald's
Mm.
in East Palo Alto and just stay there, but and for a second I almost believed it.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
scared because I thought maybe that I was scared because I thought maybe that might be my future. But it no, it's you have the narrative of your story.
Yeah.
You change that, and you push, you listen to connect with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think connecting with yourself is really important because when you connect with yourself, you can listen to where you're being guided. Yeah.
Yeah. And talking about that, when you just talk about how people had project whatever they were projecting upon you, it brought me to like the stereotype that we have in our society today about single moms as well, where when a mom is single, they think that I don't know, she wasn't capable enough to like either stay in the marriage, or she was like
Or she was reckless
yeah, like she just
and got
wanted to,
pregnant. Yeah.
yeah.
There's so much stereotype, and
Hmm.
it's really sad.
Do you want to touch on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is really sad, um, because you say, oh, she's a single mom, or oh, how sad, or oh, she
Yeah.
must have a hard life, or you start to think all these, you start judging, you start criticizing,
Yeah.
but you have no idea what that woman is going through. Every woman's story, every pair of shoes is different.
Hmm.
And so, I think instead of judging and criticizing, maybe listen
Hmm.
to what her story is, and appreciate her for her story and for where she is at now, because she's doing this as a single mom. Like, hello.
Yes.
Like, that is so powerful. That is strength. Like, that is power. Um, she's not giving up,
Hmm.
right? She's doing everything she can to provide for herself and for her baby. And that baby is what gives her the motivation to keep going and what gives her even more strength. So there is so much beauty, power, and strength in that.
Yeah. And as we come closer to the end of our conversation here, any powerful words for as we're on this topic, our single mothers out there and mothers in general,
Yeah.
because I think that's is such a challenging place to even live at. And I'm
Yeah.
not even a mom yet.
No, it's challenging, but being a mom is a gift.
Mhm.
It is such a blessing. There's so many, people out there, women out there that wish they could have children and
Yeah.
and have and aren't able to, but know that it is hard, but it's just a moment, and you're doing the best that you can.
Hmm.
And you are beautiful. You are so beautiful the way that you are, the way that you're raising your baby, the way that you're trying your best. You don't know it, you don't see it, but you are so beautiful the way you're moving, and continue to move the way you're doing. Do it with love and compassion. And I promise you that it will be better, and you will be so happy that you were strong and you continued to push to show up for yourself and for your child.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I love this. Whew,
Those are things that
that's beautiful.
I always reminded myself, and it was really challenging. And even now, I sometimes remind myself, there's sometimes where I doubt myself. as a mom, as a woman growing her business, a wife. There's so many challenges, but I have to remind myself that I'm human.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing the best that I can.
Yeah.
I was a single mom at 16, 17. Like, I was broke. I had no money. I had to learn to provide, and it was really hard. But I had hope. I didn't give up on hope and faith, and that kept pushing me to be where I am now. And so I feel that my story is somewhat of a testimony
Yeah.
that no matter what your circumstance is, you can overcome that.
Yeah.
And you can turn your story around into something so beautiful and something so empowering.
Yeah. And before we go, I know we're like almost getting to the end here, but like, as a single mother, did you have family support, and what did that look like for you? And if you didn't, how did that also look like for you? Because I think that plays a big role in like, having a baby.
I am so thankful, and I thank God that I have a very big, loving, supportive family, and they're also so close by. So I'm very thankful because that helps me out a lot. But I have my parents who are both in my life, my mom and my dad, and they have always helped me. They have always helped me to take care of my baby so that I can chase my dreams. Even when I was a single mom, I was working during the day full time, studying at night. They were watching my children so that I can study. And having that support was really empowering. And I mean, I've met some women that don't have like single moms that don't have families, and I'm like, how do you do it? Like, I could not imagine doing this by myself without my family, and to see them doing it without family and on their own, like that is truly even more so empowering. But my parents have always helped me. I always have all these crazy ideas of wanting to start a business and now this, and but they're always supportive, and that I am very grateful for that, because that is what has helped my success.
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
I'm very happy. I love my mom and my dad and my sisters. I have two sisters. I'm the oldest sister. I have two younger sisters. So I think they learned from me in my experience, not getting young pregnant,
Yeah.
Following rules. But and I have my grandparents who live in East Palo Alto. My grandma, I'm very thankful for her. She's a woman of God. Because of her, she taught me to believe and believe in God. And so that literally is what gave me the strength every single step of the way in my life.
Yeah. And for our final self-reflection question here is, when you look back at your journey, what advice would you give your younger self?
Yeah.
Or words of encouragement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. If anything, and I've meditated on this and it was such a beautiful moment, but I had this meditation where I went back to my younger self, and I saw her and I faced her. And at first it was really challenging to look at her, because all I can see was, I was just in tears, right? Just feeling all the pain and trauma that I knew that she was going to go through, or she felt, right? Because I knew it. But in that moment, I decided to let that go and say, you know what? You're going to have a tough journey, a tough road, but you're going to learn so much. You're going to learn so much. It's not your fault. And you're doing the best that you can. So keep on going. Keep on going, girl. You have no idea where you're going, but just keep on going. Yeah.
That's
because
beautiful.
I had no idea where I was going, and here I am now, and I still don't know where God's going to lead me to. But yeah, here I am in faith and trust.
Thank you. And also, if we want to connect with you on social media, where can we find you?
Yes. So you can follow me on Instagram at Ybrows, or you can also check out my website, www.ybrows.com. Ybrows Beauty and Cosmetics in Menlo Park, California.
Yeah. And I just want to say, Thank you guys so much for listening to Self Reflection Podcast. And thank you so much, Yasmin, for coming on Self Reflection Podcast and sharing your journey with us. And, I hope that it finds a young girl out there that might be going through a similar situation and it inspires them and let them know that, just because they have a baby doesn't mean that their life is like over, and I think one of the things you touch on here that I too am going to take on is, not to listen to the outside noise and take on people's like stereotype and projection, right? I think that was such a powerful moment because I feel like being on my journey as well, right? There's outside noise all the time, and sometimes we can take on other people's thoughts, emotions as if they're ours. So I really appreciate you for sharing that.
No, thank you. And I would like to add,
Yes, please.
I would just want to give a message to every single woman out there that I am here for you, no matter where it is in your journey. I truly believe that where beauty heals, confidence shines. So it doesn't matter what,
Say
doesn't
that
matter
one
where
again.
beauty heals, confidence shines. So your journey is beautiful, and I'm here for it. No matter where you're at, if you have any challenges, if you need any encouragement, if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. I am here for you.
That. Thank
Yeah,
you.
of course.
Thank you guys so much for joining me on Self Reflection Podcast. Again, before we head out, I want to remind us if you have yet to subscribe to Self Reflection Podcast, please go ahead and hit that subscription button. Also, you can find us on YouTube. That's where we put all of our full episodes. So if you want to watch full episodes, for of Self Reflection Podcast. You can find us on YouTube at Self Reflection Podcast by Lira Ndifon. And then also we are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and any other platform you get your podcast on. And if you cannot find it, the link is on my Instagram bio. You can connect with me at Lira, Lira underscore Ndifon. Again, that is Lira, Lira underscore Ndifon. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I hope that you guys take care of yourself, prioritize self-reflection. Also, I want to send prayers to my friends and family members and the people that are in Cameroon in this moment, with what is going on in Cameroon. I want to send prayers to the people that are in Sudan, to the people that are in the DRC. And I want to send prayers and encouragement to the young youth of Tanzania in this moment, and all over the African continent, right? I want to send encouraging message to all of us on the continent right now, because what is happening on the continent right now, it's madness, it's crazy, and it can feel as if there's no hope in that space. So my prayer goes out to all of us on the continent. Thank you guys again so much for joining me on Self Reflection Podcast. I hope you guys have a blessed day. Take care of yourself, love yourself, be kind, and be gentle with yourself. Until next time, you're listening to Self Reflection Podcast. And this is your girl, Lira. Ta da!